What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Now, a couple of days ago, I posted this episode. You can see it on screen right here about an incredibly entitled sister-in-law and then her resulting family who just did some absolutely ridiculous things. I told you guys at the end of that episode that was just 2 posts in a series of maybe 20, 30, maybe even more that the same user has written about her sister-in-law and her crazy entitled family. And I asked you guys, do you want to see more? Should I turn this into a series like I have done in the past? And this was your response. Like dozens of comments, so many comments saying yes, series. You can see it on screen now if you're watching on YouTube. So look, I'm a man of the people after all. So I'm here. This is going to be a series. What happened next? You're going to find out. You're going to find out about the entirety of the entire story in its entirety. Isn't that great news? Yes, it is. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch episode 1 before you watch this. Otherwise, it just won't make any sense. The link is down below. You saw the thumbnail. You'll be able to find it. But without further ado, if you have watched that and you're ready for episode 2, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That is the only way that you're going to know, with notifications on, of course, click the bell, when the next episode of this series drops. So you're not going to want to miss it. So turn the notifications on. Let's get into episode 2. Okay, so starting with an update from the previous post. What I want to start with is that this behavior is out of character. This is my husband's family, and they've always been hardworking, family-oriented people. They do not all have jobs that paid a lot. Them not loaning us money when we needed it was because they don't like loaning money. They were afraid of not getting it back as they needed it themselves. That said, the comments they made back then hurt. We talked about it at the time. They understood and they apologized. Also, my husband and I have a strong feeling that my blabbermouth sister-in-law said some things to them that made them go nuts. At the moment, this is just a hunch. We'll see what time tells. So for them to pounce on me like this isn't normal behavior for them. It doesn't change anything though. Since the incident, I've talked to cousins, aunts, and uncles. On advice of my lawyer, I sent an email stating that I do not want to be contacted by them at this point, as the visitors might face a lawsuit, along with little love tap uncle. I gave them my lawyer's contact information if they wish or need to get in touch. I asked them to respect this. I also advised the visitors and my uncle to find legal counsel due to the circumstances. By the way, OP is referring to the visitors here as the family members that were just on her drive when she came back. As of now, they've all respected this. We've not received calls, text, or emails. Only one cousin is still in contact with my husband. This is the cousin who has the certified loan, so we need to stay in touch. That cousin told my husband that the visitors and my uncle are very ashamed and realize they fluffed up enormously. He's heard some talk about mediation. The uncle even cried in front of him. That's a man who never cries. It seems genuine, but I'm cautious. I've read the responses and I don't feel guilty anymore. I'm someone who helps when needed. I always have been. Even when we didn't have much money, people were always welcome to stay for dinner or a night or two to get back on their feet. I've always felt lucky and blessed to have a roof over my head, 3 meals a day, and clothes on my back. My husband and I have discussed it, and we've decided we won't be offering any more funds to the other family members, their children, or grandchildren. Good. However, we are open to certified loans like the cousin has. But we've decided not to share this publicly for now. I'm not going to punish people for the actions of their parents or grandparents. Some people suggested I should move or change my number. No, I won't do that. I'm not going to move because of what happened. We live in a safe neighborhood with neighbors who look out for each other. Also, as of now, this is an isolated incident. I did block them on my phone and social media. My number is known to many official authorities, and again, since this is an isolated incident for now, I won't change it. My husband chose not to block them. Any contact goes through him, in case they say something that can be used in court. He wants to keep tabs on them as much as possible. I'm okay with this. All the correspondence has been saved. My lawyer and I have a Zoom call planned for next week. I've already updated him with what the cousin said. He also hopes to have heard something from the DA by then. He said that mediation is an option, and that he wouldn't be surprised if the DA considers it if the visitors and my uncle are open to it. There still might be legal consequences. He has some ideas, but it also depends on the DA and what the visitors and my uncle plead. I just love that they're called the visitors. It sounds like they could be sort of like a horde of zombies in a way. I guess in some strange fashion, that was sort of how they were acting. My lawyer told me he's had time to read some of the statements and review parts of the footage. So far, their stories are consistent with the footage he's seen. At this point, I just want their actions recorded and for them to face consequences. You do not get to threaten me, or possibly my family, and physically harm me without getting your behind kicked at least once. Let them be scared crapless for now. The footage is in the hands of the DA and my lawyer. A neighbour also recorded what happened, and that footage has been submitted as well. They gave a statement too. I backed everything up just in case. The neighbours know what happened. I sent them flowers with an apology for the disturbance. They appreciated the gesture. Thankfully, they're not afraid, and they've promised to keep an eye on things. They're actually angel neighbours, really. Now, I don't consider myself a hero. I just try to be a decent human being. I don't flaunt the fact that we have money. We live in a normal home on a normal street. We don't wear expensive clothes. The car I bought 10 years ago was brand new then, and the baby's still going strong. It's got some dents and scratches, but it runs just fine. I'm not going to buy a new car just because this one's old. Same goes for my husband's car. The kids have their chores and get pocket money, but if they want something extra, they do extra chores for some extra spending money. They also have to save part of their allowance. We want to teach them the value of money. The eldest knows we have a filled bank account, but also knows what it costs to get there. Right now, the kids want a Switch, so they're saving up. We'll cover part of it, and they'll have to come up with the rest. We just try to be an average family. Okay, well, that is great. That is exactly the right way to be, I think. No matter how much money you have, you got to treat your kids the same. I mean, if you've got the cash to treat them, like you said. But you can't just go out buying them Switches, buying them loads of clothes, spending your money on cars, etc., etc. You can. You've got the cash to do it, clearly. I just don't think that's the sort of lifestyle that first of all, it's not the sort of lifestyle that you want to have. I can tell that by reading your words, OP. Secondly, it's just not really the example you want to set to your kids, that they can just get stuff. Yeah, it's cool knowing that your parents have a lot of money and they've done well, but you still got to earn it like your parents did in the first place. It actually reminds me a little bit of my dad, because this is my, I think, second computer now. In how many years have I had a computer? Over 10, right? I think I've had this computer maybe 4 or 5 years. It's a nice computer. I bought it myself. Don't worry. But, with the money that this channel has made. However, I wanted a computer to be able to make YouTube videos, edit, play some games, etc. Make videos out of that. How long ago was that? Yeah, probably 10 years ago, roughly. And I didn't have enough money for it. I had some money. I probably had £400. And you can get a decent computer with that, but for what I wanted to do and be able to edit and make YouTube, etc., I needed more. So my parents said, all right, we can pay for a little bit of it to help you get to the level that you need to be able to do stuff. I mean, to be fair, they didn't know about that I was doing YouTube and that sort of stuff. They probably thought it was more for I don't know, work, who knows, schoolwork. But they knew I did a bit of gaming, etc. But they didn't just buy me one. I mean, I'm not saying they have as much money as this. Clearly they do not. Not in that ballpark, unfortunately. But the point remains, you can't just buy your kids these things. They've got to, in my opinion, pay for the vast majority, or at least work for it. And then if you want to help them out at the end as a birthday present or whatever, then that's up to you. But yeah, I was very grateful for having some help towards a computer that I wouldn't have been able to buy without their help. Long-winded way of saying, I like OP's sort of morals, and I hate the rest of her entitled family. It's also weird that the uncle, the love tap uncle, is oh, well, now I'm so upset about what I did. Just don't do it in the first place then. I've never hit anyone in my life. That's actually a fact. So I'm not upset that I've hit someone, because I haven't done it. I wouldn't do it. Strange. Anyway, let's move on. Next post. Goodness me. Really? I've just read the title. And more family came out of the woodwork. I thought I'd give a little info about what's currently going on here. Now, OP lists the cast again, just sort of breaking it down, which I'll go through just so everyone's on the same page. If you are watching on screen, this will help as well. If not, don't worry, I'll make it obvious. But LLTU is Little Love Tap Uncle, the one who slapped me. The visitors are the aunts, uncles, and cousins who came to try and persuade me to give them money. L is Lovely Lawyer. Blabbermouth now is the sister-in-law. So renamed just to Blabbermouth, and I'll let you in the secret, guys. This series is about this blabbermouth, and that's probably going to be the title later down the line, who couldn't keep her mouth shut and blabbed all kinds of things to the family. And then CLC is the certified loan cousin, the cousin who asked for and got a certified loan. He has since now paid it back in full. Okay, good. Let's get into it. First off, I'm dealing with some health issues. Not COVID related, thankfully, but I will need surgery. Remember again, guys, this is taking place in 2020. This post in particular, December the 8th, 2020. There will be a lawsuit against my little love tap uncle and the visitors. When? The date is set for January 2021 at this point. Let's hope it doesn't get postponed. My husband and I have written a letter that our lawyer can read in court in case we aren't able to be there, either in person or via video call. Blabbermouth's role is becoming clearer, but since we don't have the full picture yet, I'll update later. My uncle had a minor fracture in his cheekbone, apparently. Nothing major and didn't need surgery. Wow, you've packed a punch though, fair play. My husband, my lawyer and I have had some good, honest conversations about my own behaviour. Our lawyer's a friend I've known from way back, and he says that although I'm quite the gentle soul, I can also be strict, direct and no nonsense. I've always been family oriented and willing to help others. Unfortunately, this has proved to be my downfall. My lawyer and husband agree that I can be more no-nonsense and stricter when it comes to family too. I recognise this. I tend to sweep things under the rug because family. Stupid me. Since then, I've received great feedback from both of them, and I've sought out a therapist who says I've made improvements. Since the visit, which is what OP is now calling when all the visitors, all the cousins went to her place, my husband and I have been contacted by many family members from his side, mostly just asking questions since they'd only heard one side of the story and things were unclear to them. Some were understanding about the situation. They were honest, saying they felt left out. But as one cousin put it, to be honest, I wouldn't have thought of you either if something like this had happened to me. They said they'd appreciate any gesture, but they understood it wasn't their money to decide on. Unfortunately, there were also some family members who came to the defense of the visitors, saying things like, "What's the big deal? You've got plenty of money, just share. It's not like you'll miss it." Here we go again. They've been sending us daily messages. Hello, harassment charges, telling us we're selfish and that family should share when good luck comes their way. How many family members do you have? That is my question. Do you have like an army of them? Because your husband's side, right? And that's all these people. And we're not even getting onto your side yet. Wow. Then one day, we received a request for a Zoom call from a cousin who hadn't spoken to us at all. We accepted, only to find out it was a virtual ambush from the visit crew. Some family members had gathered online from their separate homes to talk to us. They got 2 minutes in before I made it clear I wanted to say something. "I want to say something," I said. The people said, "Okay, so you want us to share the money?" People replied, "Yes." Cue lots of behind kissing comments like, "Really? You're the best." Then I said, "Well, first, I want $2,000 from each of you." People cried in outrage. Loads of comments. Then someone said the magical words. "Why would I give you that amount of money? Me and my partner work hard for that money. And now you just demand it? You can't do that. We all work hard for our money." Yeah, so do we. What makes you think you can make the same demands of us and expect us to give in to them? I'll be honest, I loved the embarrassed silence that followed. The certified loan cousin was part of the call and said that when he heard about the whole thing, he asked for a certified loan for the down payment on his home. He explained the terms of the loan and that the lawyer he had review it said it was a good document. Strict, yes, but it protected both parties. My husband and I told them that that cousin was given the loan because he asked nicely and agreed to a certified loan. Someone asked if we'd do that again. We told them point blank that if somebody wanted to borrow money, we wouldn't be sure we'd agree because of a few things. 1, they acted entitled and treated us terribly. 2, you don't get to treat people this way and then kiss their behinds the moment you want something. And 3, they all have jobs, save for if it's a luxury. Another point, circumstances might change and we might not even be able to help. And finally, if, and that's a big if, we decide to help, we want every minuscule detail about what the money is for, and they have to agree to a certified loan. Most people back out when they realize there are strings attached, like a claim on their house, car, etc. It was very, very quiet after that. I told them I had a good idea why they wanted money, probably for a more luxurious car, to remodel a kitchen or bathroom that's still functioning, or to buy a fancy item they've been eyeing, or maybe a games console for their kids. Well, save up for it. More silence and a lot of embarrassed shifting on their part. My husband told them to stop harassing us. We were being blamed for tearing the family apart, but their own greed was doing that. Until now, there were no problems. We all got along fine. Then, money came into the picture, and suddenly almost everyone turned into money-hungry morons. Yep, his words. He got emotional and said this wasn't the family he grew up with, and it hurt to see them change so much. Then came the apologies, from some of them. We left the Zoom meeting, telling them we didn't want to hear from them unless it came with an apology, and not to contact us until we had some space. Some have texted us those apologies, and my husband's had a few phone conversations with them. Others haven't changed their tune. They keep texting all kind of wailing stories about how much they need or deserve money. One cousin even texted me saying I deserve that slap in the face. Apparently because I'm not blood, and should therefore bow to the will of the family. He even told my husband to get his wife back under control and be a good family member. He keeps harassing us and made some comments that hinted at me being hit again. I simply replied, "Have you talked to the love tap uncle about how his broken cheekbone feels?" And that shut him up. The certified loan cousin told me he suspects this cousin didn't want to meet my right fist either. He said he'd talked to him about it and was hinting something along those lines. Every text has been saved and is going onto a very big USB drive for my lawyer to get started on some nice cease and desist letters, as some of you may know them. The love tap uncle and the visitors have stopped contact when asked and advised to. So, that is the update up to this point. On a more positive note, certified loan cousin and his girlfriend bought their house, and once it was ready, they invited us to visit, masked and distance. They've turned a house into a home. It was good to see the pride and joy coming from them. I mean, my question is, why can't everyone in your family just be like the certified loan cousin? He is reaping the rewards of like getting a normal loan. And who knows? Maybe because he's been so good with this and has paid you back promptly and has used it for exactly what he said he was going to use it for, invited you round, and you're happy with the money that you've loaned out, and he's obviously super happy, him and his family. Maybe in the future, you might say, you know what, he was so good in the past and did exactly what we asked of him and used our money super well that this time we're going to give him like a gift of money instead. Say he's like, you know what, it's just chats at a barbecue. The house is great. I kind of want to like redo the kitchen. Instead of him getting a loan or something this time, or even like asking for the cash, you might just say, yeah, you know what, go for it. Have some money, have 10k, get it done. And that's the way of doing it. Like with all this, it's your money. And if you want to give it to your family or spend it however you like, that's your decision. The problem is when you have your family members come to you saying, we deserve this money, when they don't. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for episode 2 of what I suppose I'm calling the Blabbermouth series now. If you have a better name for it, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, you guys absolutely loved episode 1. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't seen episode 1 yet, it's on screen over here. If you've not seen episode 3 yet, it might be down here. But I mean, if you're watching this the day it comes out, then it won't be out yet, sadly. But yeah, that is it for now. Subscribe with notifications on for the next episode to be in your inbox.